Congratulations! You've connected with the Pulpit Perspectives podcast. Join Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy as he connects with pastors where they preach, literally at the pulpit of their church. It's a point of view with purpose and personality that informs and inspires with real-life stories from great preachers you need to know. Your host is Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Let's join Kent at a pulpit with a fresh perspective from his guest preacher.
Greetings and welcome to Pulpit Perspectives podcast. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Pulpit Perspectives podcast exists to connect clergy to each other and to their congregations. I'm in the beautiful sanctuary of Culver Wesley United Methodist Church in Culver, Indiana. It's a beautiful white sanctuary with white pews and colonial looking vibe. It's a wonderful setting. And I'm standing here sharing the pulpit of Culver Wesley United Methodist Church with their senior pastor, Pastor Marybeth Scheibel. Welcome to Pulpit Perspectives podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. So how long have you been the pastor of Culver Wesley United Methodist Church?
I started here August of 2023. So I've been here 8 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In year one. Now I understand this is not your only appointment.
Correct. Yes, that's right. I also just started in January of 2024. I started at Pretty Lake Trinity United Methodist Church, just up the road in Plymouth.
Wonderful.
Yep.
All right. Well, two churches, double the blessings.
That's right. That's
Okay.
right. They're both wonderful.
So what are you celebrating?
That's a great question. I'm finding a lot of joy right now in the Easter season. I think having spent a lot of time over the past few weeks really dwelling in a lot of the hardship that comes with Lent. There's a lot of celebration coming with the joy of the good news of our risen Lord. It's exciting to get to move into a more joyful time, and spring is here. We've got wonderful folks in both congregations. So it's exciting to have a little bit more joy in our worship for the first time in a few weeks.
Yes. Joy of Easter is worth celebrating.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right.
So who inspired your call to ministry?
Oh my goodness. I first felt the Lord calling me to ministry when I was 16. I was at a student leadership academy in 2015, I think, and really felt the Lord sort of drawing me in. But I had a lot of wonderful pastors and mentors who sort of helped me discern that call. I had a youth pastor. I forget who my youth pastor was at the time. We had a few growing up, but Pastor Esther Rosario, who's now serving at Chesterton United Methodist Church, was one of my biggest mentors. She really helped to kind of pull me along. December of 2019, I did an internship at her church, and it really helped me to discover, I want to be in the church. I want to be a pastor. I want to go to seminary. This is exactly what I want to do. She was really one of the biggest influences in figuring out how I envisioned my career unfolding. But yeah, I've had the benefit of a lot of really lovely pastors to kind of help me discern that over the last few years.
Wonderful. And just, I want to linger for a moment in something you said that as a youth, a United Methodist Church with United Methodist leaders nurtured your call to ministry while you were yet a youth.
Yeah. I'm very, very fortunate. I grew up at Valpo, First United Methodist, and had a really wonderful youth experience there. Like I said, we had a few changes in leadership, but the whole time I had incredible community with my youth group who really sort of helped to pull me along. I had the various leaders that we did a really great job of opening doors for leadership for me, that I think, we sort of talk about recognizing that spark in our youth. And I was fortunate to have a few people sort of see that in me and give me leadership roles and opportunities to do ministry in small ways as a youth. Yeah, we were very big on a student-led ministry model in Valpo, which was, I think, really important for everybody in the program. So yeah, I'm really, really blessed that that was my opportunity, or that was my experience.
What a gift and what an
Yeah.
encouragement for us in the church now to
Absolutely.
be on the lookout for those youth that God is calling to ministry.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, what do you do for fun?
Oh, great question. I'm new to Culver, and so it's within the last year, I'm new to Culver, so it's been a lot of fun for me now to sort of explore this area. I do a lot of trying to find a good coffee shop, trying to find a fun thrift store. But this is a beautiful town to live in, so I also really love taking my dogs for walks around the lake and, yeah, getting to know folks in our community.
There you go. Sounds fun.
Yeah,
All
living the
right.
dream every day.
There you go. So what is your go-to Bible verse?
I the one that I always come back to, Romans 8 as a whole. It's just my favorite. Nothing warms my heart like reading Romans 8, but particularly the when we warm up to the part that says, for neither. I'm gonna botch it now that I'm being recorded, but neither height nor depth, angels nor demons can separate us from the love of God.
There you go. Yes.
I think nothing quite so well captures just how much the Lord loves us in that lovely, nurturing Romans 8.
There you go. You
Yep.
can't go wrong with Romans 8.
That's right.
There you go.
I could preach 20 sermons on Romans 8.
Romans 8.
Yeah.
Yes. We're going to spend the next 20 weeks in
Yes.
one chapter.
That's right.
Yes.
That's
right. Right. Well, okay. All right. So who or what keeps you humble?
Oh, that's such a great question. I think right now, my inexperience makes me humble. The fact that every experience is a new one, and I'm doing so many things for the first time. I have been making, plenty of mistakes. We're falling forward, as your wife likes to say, that we try new things, but we're still making progress. And even if we fail, we're falling forward. So I've been doing a lot of falling forward, and that has kept me plenty humble. Yeah, I've been fortunate. Both of my congregations that I serve are wildly gracious with me as I'm learning the ropes of things, but that's kept me humble. I also have an accountability group from seminary, a Wesley band style accountability group that I still keep up with, and they do a good job of keeping me in line.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. We're what I hear you say, the first part, we're all apprentices.
Right.
And there are no experts.
Right.
There are no experts at this. And you're one among many apprentices in your congregation trying to figure this out and falling forward.
Yeah. We're all doing it together.
Right. There
We're
you
all
go.
working together.
So if you only had one preacher to listen to for the rest of your life,
oh my goodness,
who would that preacher be?
The last church I was at while I was in seminary is a United Methodist church in Lexington, Kentucky. I loved that congregation. It was a very cool church. I also loved the pastors there. Particularly, I really loved the associate pastor. Her name is Christina Osborne, and every single time that she preached, I just learned so much. I would take so many notes. I thought she did such a wonderful job of uncovering new ways to understand really, even sometimes really hard and complicated passages of scripture. She always did such a wonderful job of walking through things in a very manageable and accessible way, where even if you were wildly educated or you were somebody who's never been to church before in your life, she did such a great job of making her sermons accessible to everybody and pulling out just such interesting pieces of scripture. She was one of those people who you could say, I've read this passage 100 times in my life and I've never thought about it this way. I would listen to her speak every day of my life if I could.
Okay.
Yeah. She's wonderful.
Awesome. All right. What a gift. Thank you.
Yeah.
So who are you, Mary or Martha?
Oh, what a good question. Naturally, a Martha, working on leaning into being a Mary.
Can you say more?
Sure. Uh, I think, yeah, that's been a lot of the sort of self-assessment and work that things I've uncovered about myself over the last few years. I realize I have a little bit of a tendency to try to go and make sure things are perfect and try to make sure everybody around me is accommodated for, which is also a very important work. I don't want to be a Martha hater, but I think there's room for us to lean into both sides of the spectrum. So I think Mary offers a lot of inspiration to sit and listen and find peace even in imperfection. And I think that's something I've been working on.
Okay.
Mhm.
What wonderful self-awareness that
Thank
you have. That is a
Thank
gift.
you.
That is a gift you're giving yourself and to your folk in your churches. So
I don't know if you're familiar with the Enneagram.
a
but
little bit.
I'm an Enneagram too.
Okay.
So I'm just aware of a lot of things other than myself. So that's been a growing edge for the last few years.
Well, good for you. Well,
Thanks.
keep leaning into that.
Thanks.
All right. So who from the Bible
Mhm.
would you like to go axe throwing with?
Oh, what a good question.
So you're going axe throwing, and you got anybody from the Bible you can go axe throwing with. Who is that person?
There's so many acts of violence in the Bible that come to mind. Oh, and I'm forgetting her name. Oh, I'm gonna kick myself.
That's okay. Just describe.
In Judges.
Oh,
the-
Jael.
Yes, Jael.
Yeah.
The woman who drives a tent peg.
Yes.
I think I think she would be a really incredible person to watch axe throwing. I think she can unlock something primal and I think it would be a fascinating thing to watch, Jael throwing an axe.
Not just watch, but to be coached by her.
Yes.
You would be her apprentice.
Yeah.
To say, okay, Jael, how do you hold this axe? How do you throw it?
Yeah. I trust her. I trust her to really show me how to get things done.
I can picture it now. Jael and Marybeth, axe thrown champions of the world.
That's right.
Got it.
Unstoppable between the two of us.
Unstoppable. I like it. Okay. What is your favorite church season?
Yeah. To contradict what it sounded like from earlier, I actually really love Lent. And I think that has been sort of a new development, but I've really loved, as much as I do enjoy leaning into the joy of the Easter season. It's a nice breath of fresh air, but I love the opportunity in the church to lean into a lot of the harder and heavier stuff. I know sometimes growing up in church, I personally felt a lot of pressure to, feel joy, sort of to feel a superficial joy, this sort of sense of, well, you're going to church and that means everything in your life is good and you never have a hardship. And I think that Lent has really opened the door for me to lean into the facts, just acknowledging the realities that the world is a hard and broken place. And it's a good opportunity to lean into lamenting well and to navigating those hard waters. I think it's cool as a church community for us to learn how to do that together, to lean into more difficult conversations, to lean into the sadness and weariness of the world as sort of a discipline. Lent comes around once a year and it opens the door for us to lean into that. And then at the end of that hard walk, we get to experience ultimately the joy of the resurrection.
You touched on something that I think is vitally missing in the church, and that is doing lament well.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Scripture takes notice of
Yeah.
all of those saints in our tradition that have lamented well.
Mhm.
Then why are we not teaching that
Right.
and leaning into that? So,
And so much of Scripture is lament. And that's another thing that I've, like I said, over the last few years, I've found it's not discouraging to see so much lament in Scripture, but it's actually quite comforting to see that in my own lament, when I'm reckoning with the hard things that you see on the news, reckoning with different, everyday struggles in life, to say, hey, there is solidarity with the saints in that we have all seen really hard things. We have all gone through the valley, and there's always an opportunity to see the hope of the Lord, even in those really hard pits.
it sounds to me like, and this is just coming from the cheap seats, but it sounds like you're working on a Romans 8 / lament sermon series.
I'm actually in a Jeremiah
Oh, well,
series
okay.
right now,
Okay.
and I'm currently finishing my Lamentations sermon, so maybe that's just where my mind is.
Nothing wrong with that. Okay, I like it. Okay. So what do you hope your fellow clergy colleagues know? What do you hope your clergy colleagues know?
About me, oh man, what an open door. I think it's been an interesting position to be coming into the church like right now. A lot of folks who I tell that I'm going into ministry, they go, wow, what a time to join the church. And I even know some clergy who are a little bit further along in their careers, and they have just seen it all. And I think I I guess I just want to express like that I have the most hope and joy. There's not a part of me that feels dread about joining the ministry at this time in my life. I am so confident in the work that God is doing in God's church. I'm so confident in the work that is to come. I know that God is all about transformation and doing new things. And so I know that this is, a hard time to be a pastor, especially post-COVID. I didn't have to deal with navigating COVID. I didn't have to deal with navigating a lot of the hard things over the last few years. But I think there's so much joy to come, so much light that is already in our churches, and so much light that is to grow. I'm so excited for the future of the church, and I think that there's no reason to dread, no reason to be cynical or jaded about the future of the church. I think that the future for God's church is bright.
Wow, that is a wonderful word of encouragement to your fellow clergy colleagues, that there's no fear in the future.
That's right.
And there's joy in the church today. I like it. Thank you. So last question.
Absolutely.
So you have 3 words, and I'm going to hold you to them.
Okay.
Only 3. You have 3 words that encapsulate the future of your time being at your 2 churches. So when you think about that future, however long or short that might be, what 3 words come to mind as you continue to journey with your 2 churches?
It's so tough to limit a pastor to a word count.
Tough, but not impossible.
I know. Thank
3
you
words.
so much for challenging me.
Yeah, 3 words.
Discipleship.
You're 1/3 of the way there. Discipleship. Okay.
Discipleship, outreach, and growth.
Discipleship, outreach, and growth.
Yeah, it's hard to try to boil. I have the thoughts, but boiling it down into words.
Those three: discipleship, outreach, and growth.
Mm-hmm.
What a wonderful prayer
Yeah,
to be able to pray upon your two churches.
absolutely.
It'll be my prayer as well for
Thank
you
you.
as you continue to be their pastor. And I hope that those three words come alive and are enlivened in your midst of servant leadership.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. So Marybeth Scheibel, I appreciate your time being on Pulpit Perspectives podcast. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure.
This has been Pulpit Perspectives podcast, coming to you from the sanctuary, from the pulpit, from Marybeth's pulpit here at Culver Wesley United Methodist Church in Culver, Indiana. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy. Pulpit Perspectives podcast exists to connect clergy to each other and to their congregations. If you want to learn more about all the great things that God is doing in the North District, I would invite you to check out the North District Facebook page. And also you can check out the North District page on inumc.org. That is the conference website for the Indiana Annual Conference. So God is on the move for all of the churches in the North District. And so until next time, this is Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy signing off.
There you have it, a fresh perspective from the pulpit with a great preacher. You know you want to hear more. You can do just that by connecting with Pulpit Perspectives with Reverend Dr. Kent Lundy on Apple Podcast and Spotify, where you can like and follow the podcast. What's more, you can spread the good news about Pulpit Perspectives in your church and with your neighbors. Plan now on joining Kent at the pulpit, where you'll meet another great preacher on Pulpit Perspectives.